My name is Julio Birrueta. I am the director of the Mazatlán Tourism Board, as well as for the Mazatlán Hotel Association.
Okay, so I didn't realize you were both positions. That's wonderful.
Yeah, 2 positions, 1 salary.
But at least you have a really good place to live.
Yeah,
right?
it's actually the kind of similar entity.
Uh-huh.
The Hotel Association is one of the 3 members of the Mazatlán Tourism Board.
Okay, so who are the 3 members?
The other one is the Sector Sinaloa,
Okay.
the Tourism Board, which is the state government,
Right.
and the other one is the City Hall,
Oh,
the
okay.
Gobierno Municipal.
Okay. And what about
So-
the other hotel association? Because there are 2 in town.
Actually, they are members as well in conjunction with us
Okay.
of the tourism board. We belong to the same board, to the same tourism trust.
Okay, all right.
Our entity receives the income from the 3% accommodation tax.
Uh-huh.
So one part is dedicated for the marketing purposes of the Tres Islas Association, which is
Okay.
on the boardwalk, because they have like a unique marketing for the type of tourists they bring.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other hotel association, which encompasses like 80% of the rooms in the destination.
Okay, so the hotel association you work for is called what?
Mazatlán Hotel Association.
Okay. And that's most of the hotels in the Zona Dorada.
Zona Dorada, starting in Valentinas
Uh-huh.
and the northern part of Rafael Buelna Avenue,
Okay,
all the way to
okay.
Culiacan.
Okay.
Or
And Tres
before,
Islas is all these on the Malecón.
And Tres Islas is Malecón, and then from the Fisherman's Monument to Historic District, then that is us.
And
again.
how did it start? Oh, and then it's you again.
It's us again, yes.
How interesting. So it's like just one pedacito, one little part in the middle is...
Right, and it was there, it was like that since before, so
Uh-huh.
when we created the, it was called Fondo Mixto before the Tourism Trust.
Uh-huh.
When we created it like 25 years ago, we decided to be part of the same efforts.
Mm-hmm.
And they have some responsibilities and we have some responsibilities, but it's all geared to the same purpose of bringing more tourists.
Right, right.
It's kind of, we're kind of coming back to the same type of tourist,
Uh-huh.
so eventually it will be the same.
Yeah.
Actually, the tourism trust is the same, exactly
Uh-huh.
the same.
Okay. So the tourism trust is this Mazatlán Tourism Board you're talking about?
That is, the tourism trust is the legal entity
Uh-huh.
that provides the resources to the Mazatlán Tourism Board,
Okay.
which mission is to promote Mazatlán touristy and all the neighborhood, San Ignacio all the way to
Everything in the
Tiacapan.
municipality.
Yeah.
Most of the readers of our pages are expats, so they're here either year-round or they're here 6 months, 8 months, 9 months a year. Do they fit into your tourism concept, your plans?
Yeah, they do, but most don't know, and they don't know how. And it's important for them to know how they fit. And this is the first time I think we say it in an English-speaking media locally. Very important because when we were in the deepest part of the hole in 2011, when the cruise ships left Mazatlán, they didn't leave quietly.
No.
They sent, we have a base of about 80,000 travel agents in the US and Canada, who at the time and still are very important to move the masses and pass on the word. They learned about why they left, and they were saying why they left. And it was a big crisis. It was not really a crisis made by the local media or the national media. It was specifically by a specific industry.
Right.
So everybody were very hesitating about coming to Mazatlán. It was.
And I know many of the expats here, we were enraged because we take a cruise to Rome somewhere in Europe. There's more pickpocketing, there's a lot more danger in many, many senses, and yet the cruise ships stopped coming here. To us it was a racist reaction.
It was very, very, very unfair in a way for us because, now, to give you an example, the airlines didn't pull out, the tour operators didn't pull out. At the time, you know, they were very strong. Expedia, Orbitz, Travelocity, they didn't pull out. They
Right.
continue sending tourists to Mazatlán. There were a couple of deaths in other cruise destinations at the time, and they didn't, pull out of those
Right.
destinations. So we were coming from the 2008 financial crisis in the world, coming out of the 2009
Bird flu.
the flu that was particularly for Mexico. 2010 security image of Mexico as a country, and then 2011 Mazatlán. So we were on the ground.
Yeah.
So my speech was very simple. Actually, we did not act alone. We had a very strong and very good PR company assisting us in the US and Canada, one more in Mexico. So daily meetings over the phone or personally in order to have the strategy. The first thing they said, don't spend any money in advertising. It's gonna go to the trash. I mean, nobody's gonna listen to you and nobody is going to believe you.
Well, at least they were
So,
honest.
right. So what we did, and they approved and they were okay with that. I mean, they agreed as well, is that we needed the Americans to talk to Americans and Canadians to talk to Canadians. So we hired a local company that had the video, did the video, and we started doing interviews of as much as you can and send it over there, you know.
Yeah.
And every time we were sitting in front of 120 travel agents, and the questions were always the same, security issues. I used to tell them, what I tell you is not going to be enough. So the best things for you to do is go to TripAdvisor, search for the Mazatlán forums, and over there you're going to be talking to Americans who live in Mazatlán. And of course I was always monitoring what they were saying, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
It was very effective, and this is something that we owe to the expats. And I think we have never said thank you because, you know, it's so many people there.
There was so many people.
You know,
It's
defending
our home
Mazatlán.
here. We are
and-
privileged to live here, you know.
So it
we're
was
happy to know.
And then every time somebody send an email, you know what? Same thing. Talk to the Americans. They live here. They go to the market every day.
That's
Their
great.
day-to-day life is here. They are the ones who can tell you something that you can believe. So
They'll be
was-
happy to hear that.
it was very good strategy because eventually the sector federal, country-wise, they said, you did the best strategy and we need you to go to talk to Puerto Vallarta. So Secretary Cordova went to talk to Puerto Vallarta about the different strategies so they can do the same thing.
Interesting.
And then the new secretary, who was from Acapulco, she said, why didn't Acapulco do the same thing that Mazatlán did? I said, well, it's very simple. You cannot do it artificially, you know.
Has to
They
be
don't have
organic.
expats. They don't have
Yeah.
expats that are in love with Mazatlán. I don't know. You know, you need to be creative.
Well, in Acapulco, there's a lot of people from DF who are living there. They probably need to talk to them, you know.
Right, and it was tough times, but we had the resources, fortunately, and
Yeah.
big part of the resources were people who love Mazatlán and live here.
Yeah, it was great. And that's about the time the Pitufos came too, right? The tourist aid.
Oh,
volunteers.
I mean, people still love it.
With
you know.
Roger.
When I said the blue shirts and, oh, talk to me about it. What is this about? And then I explained to them. You know, and that is one of the things that Mazatlecos have learned, you know, because Mexicans in general, particularly Mazatlecos, in the past were not used to give, you know.
Yeah,
You know, they used to give hospitality,
right.
but I mean, give something
Volunteering,
that I
we call
own,
it.
you know. So volunteering, we learned it from the Americans and Canadians.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay.
And of course, we also have to thank all the bloggers that were living here in Mazatlan. I was only able to see the nicknames there. Maybe I have not met the majority of them. But we gave the Fiesta Amigos Golden Deal Reward a few years back as a recognition.
So these days we're getting much more Airbnb down here, and now of course this week we get Uber in town. Do you have any thoughts around all of that and how that impacts?
Well, it's going to take a while to, as we say in Mazatlan, for the sands to settle a little bit. But I'm talking personally, as a Mexican citizen. The world is changing in some ways, and anything that has to do with improving services has to be taken into consideration. Of course, Mexico has been very good in taking care of some social sectors of population. It's not as it was before. Before, in the past, I'm saying 20, 30 years ago, you will see a taxi driver and you will know that he was the owner of the taxi, of the car, and he was making his living out of that for his family, which still do, don't get me wrong, but currently it's hard to see an owner driving. They have different resources, different wells of making money, and now, with this kind of services, if it helps the service, the type of service, you can maintain a driver in a regular taxi, same as you can do it in Uber. They can just switch from one to the other, because the situation here is owners versus owners. I'm still worried personally for those who are still, owners, but I think there's still business for everyone. There's still business. It's not for free. The Uber investors are paying for the application. They have to pay the driver. They have to pay for the gas. The other thing that really also puts me more comfortable in this is that most tourists, they want to take a pulmonía.
It's typical of Mazatlán.
They want to catch a pulmonía, and they have told us in the seminars that we have. No, when I go to Mazatlan, I love to catch the pulmonias. I don't want even a taxi or anything.
We can have an Uber at home.
And I'm sure you know the Aurigas, the red trucks. I mean, if it's a family of 10, they're not going to take a Uber car, a Uber car. They're going to take one of those cars. So the only thing we hope and we want to bet on is to have more business in Mazatlan, more tourists, so there can be business for everybody.
And the same feeling about Airbnb or vacation rentals by owner and those.
Well, vacation. As I said, this is things that were not invented in Mazatlan. They come from all over the world, which is not bad. The only thing, though, here, same with Uber, is that you have to put investors, entrepreneurs in equal conditions. If the regular cabs pay 5% tax, Uber has to pay 5% tax. If the hotels pay a 3% accommodation tax, Airbnb has to pay a 3% accommodation tax. In the case of this matter, the 3% tax is just for the promotion of Mazatlan. So it will come back for everybody. Let's say I have a small rental with 2 rooms only. You pay 3% of whatever your income is. Doesn't matter which income. So if I pay it, there's more money for the promotion, and then around the corner you will be benefited again for that. So.
Just is there something you could share with our readers about something coming up this year that's different or new or exciting or some kind of secret?
Since we are all marketing partners now, you know that even the expats have contributed to this. It's important to take advantage of your opportunity to tell them, what, in generally speaking, what our plans are. Our goal is to increase, by 20% the activity of our public relations company. The public relations efforts includes bringing journalists from the different media to show them Mazatlán so they can write and convince them to write and write positively,
Yes.
of course. So we're going to increase that effort with the PR
Excellent.
companies, and therefore the number of publications that will speak about Mazatlán will increase.
Yeah.
The Mexico Tourism Board for 2017 is going to bring 2 groups of bloggers. Those are people who have thousands and thousands of followers that from US, Canada, Mexico. They will bring them to Mazatlán. We just closed the deal to bring 2 of them to Mazatlán
Good.
to speak about the destination. Our advertising budget is going to double with a few strategies we have. More money coming from the state government, hopefully from the Mexico Tourism Board because they're still starting that part, and more money from the 3% because since we have had more occupancies, there's more money available in order
That's wonderful.
to advertise. We want to include a section for MICE business in the web page.
That
Now,
would be good.
currently it's done by the convention center. We're also going to do it. Another section for weddings, destination weddings. It's becoming
Good,
very,
yeah.
very popular. Another one for religious tourism, which a lot of people from any kind, Well, in Mexico, it's more Catholic,
Yeah.
but anything that it's related to religious, travel, we're going to include that. What can you do in Mazatlán in this matter?
Yeah. Even just with the Easter procession, the Via Crucis here in town,
Correct.
people when they come, they don't know where to go to see it.
Right.
So I think a lot can be
The
done.
Mexico Tourism Board for 2017 is going to bring 2 groups of bloggers. Those are people who have thousands and thousands of followers that from US, Canada, Mexico. They will bring them to Mazatlán. We just closed the deal to bring 2 of them to Mazatlán
Good.
to speak about the destination. Our advertising budget is going to double with a few strategies we have. More money coming from the state government, hopefully from the Mexico Tourism Board because they're still starting that part, and more money from the 3% because since we have had more occupancies, there's more money available in order
That's wonderful.
to advertise. We want to include a section for MICE business in the web page.
That
Now,
would be good.
currently it's done by the convention center. We're also going to do it. Another section for weddings, destination weddings. It's becoming
Good,
very,
yeah.
very popular. Another one for religious tourism, which a lot of people from any kind, Well, in Mexico, it's more Catholic,
Yeah.
but anything that it's related to religious, travel, we're going to include that. What can you do in Mazatlán in this matter?
Yeah. Even just with the Easter procession, the Via Crucis here in town,
Correct.
people when they come, they don't know where to go to see it.
Right.
So I think a lot can be done.
It's amazing, the bird watching. Julio, bless you, thank you. I really appreciate it. It's good to see you
We
again.
appreciate the invitation, and we would like to have our now almost Mazatlecos. I don't like to call them expats. They're Mazatlecos already that come from foreign countries to continue supporting the place where you live. We want to thank you for that, and hopefully any opportunity you have to tell us something, I will be more than glad to hear.
Okay, if you would like, I'll share whatever contact information you want me to.